This episode of Derapy is brought to you by Owl Soapery. What up, derps? Like the video.
Derapy. Season 3 of Derapy. Season 3.
This episode was recorded in December of 2023.
I was interviewed by this really awesome kid that runs this YouTube channel called Just Keep Filming. The link will be in the description. And I talk about all types of things from therapy to my wife to my show to mental health. And I just think it's a really important episode. And I'm excited for you all to hear it. And here it is.
Transition. Now, I gotta ask, if you don't mind me saying,
go for it.
you can tell me to shut up.
Okay.
You had something big happen to you. You tied the knot and you got married. If you don't mind me saying that.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I just absolutely was not expecting you to bring that up, but since you did, yeah, that is something that happened. That was awesome. What what do you want to know about it?
I gotta say, how's the marriage life? How's it been treating you? Is it treating you good?
Honestly, nothing really serious has changed. Woman we'll call Spice, because that's what I call her. Love of my life. We were together for around 4.5 years before I proposed to her, and then we were engaged for about 1.5 years. Got married October 22nd, 2022. And honestly, after the honeymoon and everything, things didn't really change. We're still living in the same apartment, got the same 2 cats. I'm still doing the podcast. She's still doing her job. Like, pretty much nothing has changed. And I think that that's a lesson to anybody out there, whether you're in a relationship or you're looking to be in one. If it is just easy, smooth sailing, regardless of if you are boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, husband, wife, if it's easy, if it's smooth sailing, if it's not very stressful, if they let you do your thing, you let them do their thing. I mean, I'm putting out podcasts almost every day these days, like 3-4 times a week. And I'm working full time and she's working full time. And I watch my sports and she plays her games and she watches her shows. And we just we don't really get in each other's way. We're not demanding more time from each other. And it's just really comfortable. And I don't really have any complaints. Like, everything's been pretty easy. I think people always talk about how hard relationships are and marriage it's a fight all the time. You go through hell and back and all these other things. And I just can't really relate. Things have been pretty chill. And we're like, yeah, we've been married for 1 year now, as of October 22nd of 2023, 1 year and a month or so. And it's pretty cool. I don't really have any complaints. I appreciate you asking though.
No, I'm glad. No, I appreciate you answering, because you're a young guy, and I would say some of us have ambitions to wanting to get married, to tie the knot, to find that person that not only loves us, but the person that we can love, raise a couple of kids, and teach them to be good individuals who will hopefully leave their mark up in this world, right? As a young adult, what would you say is the most taxing thing going about your day-to-day life? What would you say?
I think that there's this delicate balance of the freedom, right? So I recently, here's some more information you didn't ask for. I went to therapy. I did some therapy. Ironically, my show is called Derapy, and that wasn't doing enough for me. So I had to go to real therapy. And one of the things that I was looking for was, what do you think? I'm going to ask you this. What do you think is like the number one reason people go to therapy? Like, why do people do that? What do you think?
Just to talk to somebody, really. Talk to a professional that understands the human mindset.
Gotcha.
I would imagine.
What do you think is the feeling that you feel that makes you want to go to therapy?
I would say the feeling of wanting someone just to know how you're feeling. I mean, it's one thing talking about it to other people, but it's another thing talking about it to somebody that actually understands, that knows, hey, this is temporary, or this is something that you've probably been dealing with for your whole life.
Gotcha. So for me, I'm really glad that I asked you that, because I feel like I'm interviewing you. I'm going to try not to do that so much. I feel like
No, it's
people,
okay.
I feel like people generally go to therapy because they're like, something is wrong in my life. I'm not happy. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm angry. Or I'm dealing with trauma. And for me, I was like, I'm not happy. I don't feel fulfilled. I'm not content. Something's going wrong. And it didn't really necessarily have anything to do with my marriage. Marriage has been pretty chill. I couldn't attribute it just to my job. It's not like, oh, my job's making me depressed. This is something deeper, and I didn't know what it was. And you talk about what's most taxing about being an adult in my position, like a young adult. I'm 27 for context, for reference.
He's 28 now.
For me, it's the balance of like kind of your freedom, you know? So like there is nothing stopping me right now from like closing this laptop screen and running down to Target, like buying a box of Fruit Loops and then coming back and eating it straight out of the box with my hand and no milk. Like that's a weird thing, but like I could do that right now if I wanted to. And I think that people don't necessarily understand how much freedom they have. And when they do realize how much freedom they have, they don't know how to use it. So I have a decent job. I am not wealthy by any means. I'm actually in a considerable amount of debt, like student loan debt. Like I don't like owe like whatever, but recognizing that I do have this, technically speaking, like kind of a financial burden, right? With all of this debt, but also understanding that I still need to be able to like get a milkshake sometimes, or like surprise my wife with some cookies from like Crumble Cookie. We're not sponsored. I should be able to treat myself. I should be able to relax and play video games if I want to, even though I have the burden or the responsibility of being an adult that has bills to pay, Wi-Fi, rent, car payment, car insurance, light bill, water bill, etc. I think that is the most taxing thing that somebody my age, our age. How old are you, man?
Oh, I'm 20. I just turned 21.
You just turned 21. So if you aren't already dealing with this, you're going to deal with it soon. So like if you have any type of if you are in a position where you are like dependent on somebody, like you don't have to do your own taxes, or you're sharing like responsibility with somebody else in your home, your family, really cherish that. Because you're going to get to a point where literally everything is on you all the time. Every time you want to eat, every time you go to the bathroom, every time something in your apartment goes wrong, something stops working, your car stops working, something, your podcast mic stops working, it's all on you. And when you get married, you also share that with somebody else. If my wife's car doesn't work, I have to be responsible for that in a way. Not like I'm going to buy her another car. But if she needs to get to work, I'm not going to be like, oh, somebody should do something about that. Like, no, it's me. Like, so that specifically isn't taxing for me, but just knowing that everything is on you as somebody in their mid-20s, that's taxing. Balancing your freedom with your responsibility financially, and then like from a mental health perspective, which is why therapy can be so helpful. So, yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, and thank you for sharing that. I mean, so many people go their whole lives just wanting somebody to talk to. And I would say, because I'm not trying to get too preachy or anything, I'm privileged because I am a religious person. And I've had great people in my life that I can talk to, because I remember being a time where just looking back at my past and realize, and looking at myself and going, holy crap, what kind of a you know what person would do such a thing or would think such a thing. And it's like, no, I mean, that can't be me. And then you come to realization that, yeah, you did do that, but you know, and you're scared. You really are scared. And I'm happy that you bring up the topic of therapy and mental health, because it's a serious thing. And I will tell you that going through it now, you tell yourself every day you're young, you're stupid. Of course, you need to learn from this and you need to move on. There's no reason pouting or trying to go back in time and change everything. You can't do that.
Right.
It happened. Move on. Be better. But I can't help but shake the feeling of, oh my goodness, I'm I'm better than I am today. And people always forget that. Are you better than you were yesterday?
Right.
Yes, I am. That is a big improvement, really. What do you think?
Yeah, I think what you brought up is really important when you talk about things that you did. Things that I think one of the main things that I discussed when I was going through like therapy sessions, therapy with TH, not Derapy like my show. Therapy sessions was one thing that a lot of us carry with us are like feelings of shame, feelings of guilt for things that you did or didn't do with people or to people or around people. And one thing that really helped me was the realization that, and it might sound kind of bleak, but it's actually really positive. Nobody's thinking about you as much as you, you know, like think about somebody in your life, like a friend of yours or like your parent, and just like think about the last really embarrassing thing that they did. You can't really think of it because like you didn't do it, like it's not your thing. So like the attitude that I approach each day with when I'm at my job or even when I'm doing my podcast, and the people that listen to my podcast, like if you've listened to enough episodes of my show, you'll probably like get to know me because I'm never more of myself than when I'm doing that show. uh, it's kind of insane. You have to kind of let go of things that you've done previously or the perceptions you think people have of you, because nobody really knows you like that, like I would say there aren't many people that really, even if you listen to 200 episodes of my podcast, unless you're my wife who has to live with me every day, which thank God she is willing to do that. And if you were like one of my coworkers, because I have a very unique job where I spend a lot of time like in direct contact with them, like we are side to side, face to face all day. People don't really know you. And the things that you did when you were younger or the things that you even did yesterday, people probably aren't carrying with them. So you don't really need to put that much stock into it. You don't really need to worry about it that much because everybody has their own problems and own insecurities that they're dealing with. And they're not worried about yours and how you feel about yours. Like, or that like, or how when somebody, like if you're in the airport and somebody says, have a nice flight, and you say you too, and you're like, wait a second. Stupid. It doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's awkward, but it also doesn't matter. Like, they really don't care. Like, they're not going to go home and tell all their friends, like, this idiot said, have a nice flight myself. I work at the airport. I'm not going anywhere. Like, no one cares. So and there are things that are probably more serious than that still don't matter because everybody's thinking about themselves. It sounds selfish, but it's true.
I love that. I love that because I remember talking to one of my close friends, and I remember he mentioned, do people know the true definition of ego? And I'm maybe going to botch this, so everybody that's watching, you guys can correct me or whatever. But I remember he said something of the lines of, ego is who you are. That is your ego. So when you hear in comic book terms, yeah, his alter ego, that means a different person or, the opposite of what he is. Egotistical, now that is a true definition of, how some people get the word mixed up between ego and egotistical. What do you think?
Yeah, because I mean, just from like a literacy perspective, I suppose like ego is more of it's more like, I mean, it's a noun, like it is a thing, but egotistical is more of like it's like an attribute. And I feel like having an ego is fine. Being egotistical, maybe not so much, because it's more of something that you can control. It's more of like an attitude. So yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make for sure.
I would say on another note to that, and again, I've never actually talked about this on my show before, but mental health is a serious thing. It really, really is. And I've talked with before, and I believe everybody, and I mean everybody, deserves a second chance. The older I get, this is the beauty of growing up and aging, right?
Mm-hmm.
The older you are, the more wisdom you are allowed to learn, whether or not you process that and actually let that nucleus form inside your mind shows what type of person you are. And the older I get, the more I realize, oh my goodness, right? I'm more compassionate than I was a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm more careful, right? But at the same time, I need to be aware of the people who care about me, the people who the people that have your back, the people that are willing to get in the way, but also remember, you're stronger than you think you are. Really, what do you think?
That is an awesome point. I saw a quote somewhere, and it's like, there was a point in your life where you thought, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me, or I have no idea how I'm going to get through this, or this ruined me. And that moment came, and then it passed, and now you're here. And it's like, I think people forget that. Like, whatever is the worst thing that ever happened to you, you made it through that. Like, you already beat it. And you've done that a bunch of times. Like, there's so many times in my life where I thought I was going through like the worst thing ever. Like, I left a job before and I didn't have another job lined up, which is like a crazy thing to do. But I did it. And I remember being like so worried. I was like, I'm in this really serious relationship and I don't have like a steady source of income right now. Like, that's scary. But I did it. I'm fine. Like, everything's fine now. Like, there was a time where I had like car troubles and it's going to cost like $1,000 to fix this. And it's basic math, man. This cost $1,000 and I don't have $1,000. What am I going to do about this? I don't know, but I found a way. Like, it's fine. Now I have a car that works, you know? Like, this girl breaks up with me and I'm like, I've never experienced heartbreak like this. This is the end of the world. It doesn't matter now. Like I did it, you know? And there's probably stuff that happened to you in your life at some point and you were like, this is terrible. I can't believe this happened to my family. Somebody passed away. I lost a job. A girl broke up with me. There was a car wreck. Something happened. I lost my dog. Like, what? Like, these things happen, and you're like, this is terrible. This is unbelievable. How will I ever recover from this? But here we are. Like, you're smiling. I'm having a good time. I'm uploading podcasts all the time. I'm married. Like, this is cool. We had an interview a couple months ago, and then we didn't upload it. And I was like, dang, that sucks. And now we're doing another one. It doesn't really matter, you know? Like, everything it works out fine, you know?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, my friend. And it's like, your friend, and who I consider my friend as well, right? You know who I'm talking about, Terrell or Lobo, right?
Yeah.
I saw you, like, you were on his podcast and you were talking about rigged sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy commented, I think you know where I'm getting at. It's like this a-hole guy, and I've never seen you get that serious before. You basically just took off your glasses and went, oh, whoever this a-hole was, it Jake or something like that? He's probably
yeah.
He's probably an a-hole Jake. Really. I'm just some guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of remember you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. So I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something like he was saying that the show that we were doing, or the picks that we were making for this NFL show, he's like, you guys stole it. You stole this idea. You stole these picks. Like, this show sucks, whatever it was. And I was like, I just remember being, you know, and honestly, like, I'm not going to say that it feels weird to say I play a character on the show, because it's definitely still me, but I'm definitely a more, you know, I mean, obviously just by our conversation, that like, I'm a pretty animated person.
No way.
But I was definitely like a little bit agitated. I might have been playing it up a little bit, but I was legitimately like, this is such a ridiculous thing that's happening right now, because I have no idea who this person is. And they're accusing me and the people on this show of like stealing this content. It's not like picking who do you think is going to win an NFL game is like this revolutionary thing. And when you're picking an NFL game, there's only 2 possible winners in the game. So it's really hard to like steal this information from somebody else. There's only like a finite amount of picks that you can make for these games. And I was like, this is such a stupid thing to hate on somebody for. Like, I'm getting like worked up just thinking about it, but like, it's only frustrating because it doesn't matter. Like, it's such a weird thing to hate on somebody for. And I talk to my brother about this all the time. It's really important to recognize like when you're being a hater and like why you're doing that. because it's usually like a terrible reason, but it's important.
Yeah.
It's not just important to be like, okay, I was hating on this. It's also important to think about like why. And I can only imagine that this situation with this Jake dude, he cannot be worried about like me, the Derapy guy, like stealing his audience. That can't be what it is. It's that he sees somebody else doing something that's similar to him, and he thinks that there's not enough audience, there aren't enough consumers on this in the YouTube space or whatever he does. He thinks that there isn't enough for everybody. But that's the thing. Like there really is. There's so many people that are consuming content on YouTube. I don't know the exact number. I have no idea. If I was doing my show, I tell editor Derek to look it up. But I bet that there's a really, really high percentage of people that are on TikTok or on YouTube or on Spotify listening to podcasts or music. The majority of those people are not content creators. They are consumers. And they listen to or watch a bunch of different things. And there are enough people out there for everybody to make stuff. And you should just let people decide if they like, if somebody is doing the exact same thing you're doing, it's okay, because somebody's going to edit the show some better. Somebody's going to have a better mic. Somebody is going to be more animated. Somebody's going to have better sound bites. Somebody's going to have better guests. Like, you can try to copy somebody. It's not going to work. It's not possible. Somebody could try to do my show, but they can't because they're not me. They could have the same background music or have the same topic or visit the same Reddit pages, or they're not me. They can't do what I do, and nobody can do what you do. Like, regardless of what you think the quality of your show is, like the quality of your guests or the quality of your content, the quality of your camera, whatever you think you're doing, better or worse, nobody can do exactly what you do. And people should take pride in that and worry about what they're doing and not worry about what other people are doing. I just went on a rant, but
no, I loved it. I love 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 it. I'll tell you what, my friend.
Yeah, this is probably a pretty decent amount of content for you within this like 30 to 45 minutes we got. I feel like it was pretty productive. You want to ask me any other easy open-ended questions, I'll snap for another 4 or 5 minutes if you want. Hit me with it.
My guy, listen, I love it. You know what was it? I bring it up because it's like when we got back in touch, in my head I'm thinking, I know it. I have the questions in my head from before, but I also have this new question because I remember I was working and I was listening to you guys, and because again, you're a very calm and reasonable person, but it was when that moment where all I see is I'm watching the video, all I see is just
yeah.
Whoever this a-hole Jake is probably an a-hole.
Oh yeah, okay. So his his name on YouTube is Jake the Asshole. So like, Buddy's playing his character like to the T. I'm like, you can't talk with a name like that. You know how people are gonna treat you. And I was just giving the man what he asked for. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, and here's the beautiful thing about that moment. No matter how hard he might have thought I was going, or the people watching that show thought I was going, or how hard they think I'm going right now, the beautiful thing about that and this is that Jake the Asshole doesn't actually care what I think. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's gonna be fine. And as animated and as agitated as I might seem like right now or then, I'm literally not gonna be thinking about this a couple of days from now. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, I don't know who that man is. His name might not even be Jake. You know, like, who cares? That's
a good point. Hey, you know what? It's been a while since I know Terrell Lobo is a busy guy. I've been wanting to get him back on the show for a while, but I've kind of been, you know what? I gotta let him do his thing because he's been pretty busy lately. But I'm happy him and Derek, they're close friends and yada yada yada. I'm just hoping I can get him back on the show because I just the first time when I don't know if I told you this, when he got back, when I texted him and he texted back, I went, oh my goodness. I've been following this young man for a long time. I'm a huge fan of him, and he's not only is he hilarious, but you know, it's like it makes you think. He makes you think. Like, really, he makes you think. What do you think of the content that he makes? My
good pal. I say this on my show. My good pal Denzel, or Lobo, depending on where you know him from. One thing I respect about him, it's like you might watch his content and think to yourself, like, I don't know what if this is real or what if this is fake. Do these guys really believe in this? Blah, blah, blah. he puts a lot of effort into what he does. And the product that he puts out is good. It's well edited. You can tell that he takes his time with it, whether it be the live shows. You can tell he does his research. He prepares for it. I prepare like crazy for his show. Like I treat it like it's my show. It's crazy. But yeah, he makes you think. Like you might come away from the show thinking like, man, I don't believe 90% of what these guys are saying. But that's not the point. Nobody expects you to leave a rigged NFL pregame pick'em thinking like, my entire life was a lie.
Exactly.
I'm so glad this was exposed. If you just come away thinking like, it is kind of weird how Damar Hamlin's roommate, the first game of the regular season next year, gets 3 interceptions in the first game, and he automatically hits his incentive for the year off this first game against the Bills. Like, if you just come away thinking like one thing, I think that's good enough for Lobo. And if that's good enough for Lobo, then it's good enough for Lobo. I think that you create the goals for your own content. Like if you want people to react a certain way, if you get that reaction out of them, that's all that matters. Like when I do my show, I just want people to come away thinking, 1, this is a high quality podcast. 2, this guy really cares about what he does. And 3, he has so much fun doing this, and you can tell he's passionate about it. And he has a full-time job and a wife, and I'm sure hobbies that he enjoys doing, but he still takes the time to do this. And I should take the time to do whatever makes me happy. So that's my takeaway. And I hope that's other people's takeaway from it.
Hey, shout out to Just Keep Filming for the interview. Their link is in the description if you want to subscribe to their channel. Also, shout out to Owl Soapery for sponsoring today's episode of Derapy. Go get yourself some natural soap. Thank you so much for sponsoring our show here. Love you, mean it, spread the bread, and enjoy the outro by Odin Crimson.
Like that, swim to me, my lady, with a great mind and a nice ass. Real shit, I've been too faded, I admit it. Real shit, I only care about the independence. Back up, I fear no man. Lord forgive me, nigga, act up and end up looking at statistics. Another 5 track up, I wonder who did it. Crimson, koala high, get eucalyptus. Back to back, drop and give a fuck about the mixing. The 10,000 rack up, the master's a giver. 100% mulberry silk on my head, nigga. Smooth like velvet cream, ice and cake red, nigga. I write like a Pulitzer winner. I might eat a goddess for dinner. I might just be too cold for winter. Go snowboard, I slide like Linda. All my best friends are dead presidents. 20 in my hands, just a buzz again. Check yourself, check your friends, check your bitch, check your man, check your health. Get it right, tell my story, cause I know nobody gonna do it for me. Got that dog in me, nigga, I'm a Rottweiler. I'ma rock with everybody, I'm a Rottweiler. I'm a Rottweiler. Yeah, I'm a Rottweiler.